Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation, the show where we delve into the profound impact of religion, spark provoking conversation, explore the world through an open-minded perspective. I'm your host, Tafari, here to bring you engaging discussions, eye-opening stories, and conversation that pulls no punches. Whether it's faith, culture, creativity, or real-life experience, we keep it raw, honest, and unfiltered. Peace and power, family. Before we get started, please take a moment to do something important. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations with Tafari. Every click, share, and subscriptions help push this movement forward, spreading knowledge, rhythm, and power into our community. Let's rise together. Now, let's get into today's conversation.
Economics must now become the new black power.
All right.
And this cannot be done without the cooperation, the investment, and the engagement of the most important, the most trusted institution in our culture, and that is the Black church.
That was an audio clip from Dr. George Fraser. Welcome to Movement, Rhythm, and Conversations, the space where truth meets valiant and silence meets its end. I'm your host, Tafari, and this is not your typical podcast. This is where we challenge illusions, confront uncomfortable truths, and reclaim the power that was stolen from us. Here, we talk about the real politics, economics, spirituality, and culture through the lens of the African mind. We don't sugarcoat, we don't beg for inclusion, and we don't worship false idols. We build consciousness, we build communities, and we build strength. Because before there was their world, there was ours. Before they told us who we were, we already knew. For centuries, they've sold us the illusion of equality, the fantasy of inclusion, the lie that we finally made it. But look closer and you'll see the truth. They're not celebrating us. They're erasing us. They're taking away our voting rights, redrawing districts to silence your voice, closing African-American museums, and rewriting history to make it look like we were never here. And yet, we still beg for a seat at their table. We still celebrate their holidays. We still think their approval equals progress. But let's be honest. When the Founding Fathers wrote the Declaration of Independence, every one of them owned slaves. You were never part of the equation, not politically, not economically, not spiritually. So, in this episode, we're pulling back the curtains on the illusion of inclusion. We're talking about real power, economic power, culture power, and self-determination. Because when we start recycling our dollars back into our communities, when we stop feeding their markets and start building our own, the entire system shakes. This isn't about hate. It's about awakening. It's about remembering who we are and where we come from. So sit back, open your mind, and prepare to unchain your thoughts, unchain your mind, reclaim your soul. Now, let's reclaim our economics. Let's get into it. For over 400 years, the European world has shown us who they are. They have never hidden their hands, only disguised it behind policies, politics, and prayer. Yet, generation after generation, we continue to seek validation from the same system that was built on our suffering. What will it take for Black people to finally see that European Americans have never been interested in our progress? We are living in a time where the illusion of equality is dissolving before our eyes. Laws are being rewritten, voting rights are being stripped, and redistricting maps are being drawn to silence our political voice. These acts aren't random. They are intentional. It is a continuance of a long, calculated mission to erase the African presence from the narrative of America. Erase in real time. They are erasing you from history, not by accident, but by design. Schools are banning books that tells your story. Museums dedicated to African American history are quietly being defunded or closed. Television and film still exploit your pain while limiting your power. You are being erased in real time, and yet too many of us are still waiting for justice to come from the very institution that oppress us. When the so-called founding fathers wrote the Declaration of Independence, they didn't see you as a human. Every single one of them was a slave owner. Their ideal of freedom was reserved for white men who owned property, not for the African people they kept in chains. To them, you were an investment, not equal. So when you wave their flag, celebrate their holidays, and call their revolution our own, we're participating in our own erasure. We are pledging allegiance to the same system that was designed to exclude us from the beginning. Economic warfare. They understand something that many of us still refuse to grasp. Economic power determines survival. The Europeans, or white people, whatever works for you, has always played the long game. Control the land, control the labor, and control the money. They took your labor for centuries, then convinced you to give your money back to them voluntarily through capitalism. They created a society where you believe that your value lies in what you buy rather than what you build. But imagine if we reverse the script. Imagine if we recycle just 15% of our income back into our own communities, supporting Black-owned businesses, banks, media, and schools. The impact would be seismic. It would disrupt their markets and weaken their monopoly on our existence. We wouldn't need to beg for a seat at their table. We could build our own. We wouldn't need to plead for inclusion. We could create independence. That's what they fear most, a self-sufficient Black economic. The distraction of false unity. Every year, we see posters, celebrations of holidays that has nothing to do with us. All King's Day, Independence Day, or whatever new culture camouflage they create to make us feel included. These are distractions. They pacify our revolutionary spirit with shadow symbolism. It's not about unity. It's about control. They preach inclusion while simultaneously designing exclusion. They promote diversity while erasing your identity. It's the illusion of progress designed to keep you docile, celebrating a freedom that was never yours to begin with, reclaiming our power. True freedom will never come from the system that enslaved you. It must come from your own awakening. We must unlearn their values and relearn our own. Before there was America, there was Africa's civilization that thrived in science, architecture, philosophy, and governance. We come from order, discipline, and divine intelligence, but centuries of indoctrination has turned that brilliance into dependency. It's time to return to self-reliance, to return to collective economics, to return to our ancestral pride and power. If we stop seeking validation from European approval, we would realize that everything we need already exists within us. Our culture, creativity, intelligence are unmatched, but only we can use them to serve our own achievements, not theirs. Power is still ours. They will continue to take your rights, erase your history, and manipulate your future as long as you allow them to. The European greatest weapon is not the gun or the law. It is your belief that you need them. It's time to break the illusion. It's time to rebuild our own system of power. It's time to stop asking for inclusions and start demanding independence. If just 15% of Black income circulate within our own community, the European market would shake. If just 15% of our mind disconnected from their narrative, the world would change. The question isn't whether they'll stop oppressing us. The real question is, when will we stop enabling them to do it? We've spent too long believing that acceptance is freedom, that inclusion is progress. But what we've really been given is an illusion, a careful, crafted lie to keep us solid, docile, and dependent. The truth is, no system built on your oppression will ever empower you. The real revolution starts when we redirect our energy, our creativity, and our economics back into our own hands. That's where true liberation begins. So don't just listen, act. Support Black businesses. Build within your community. Teach your children the truth they are never learned in their schools. Because the moment we stop asking for permission to exist, we reclaim what has always been ours: power, purpose, and pride. I'm your host, Tafari, and this has been Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation. Unchain your mind, reclaim your soul. Now, let's reclaim our economics. If today's conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share with the family, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification so you never miss an episode of Movement, Rhythm, and Conversation with Tafari. Together we rise. Unchain your mind, reclaim your soul.